We often think about war as men shooting men. Well, even looking at that, that's a gendered statement in and of itself. And we should look at it a bit more carefully. It's usually men of a certain age group, often men of a certain age group within a certain ethnic group, often doing certain duties that relate to their age, that might relate to their position in society. So we can do a gender analysis of just the male to male part. But wars never entail just one gender. We have perpetrators, we have victims of crimes that could be male or female, of childhood age, of adult age. Think of child soldiers, think of persons who are forced to flee. What's our gender analysis of the fleeing population? And let's say it's a fleeing population of young children. Why? Because there might be a gender analysis. They've been taken from a school. The school has been attacked. So now we have to look and see we have boys and girls fleeing, maybe being forcibly transferred, maybe being recruited as child soldiers, maybe themselves being victims of crimes that could be sexual based, that could be psychologically based, physically based. And so that's what a gender analysis that we offer to the prosecutor through investigation or through the submission of arguments before the court and the writing up of the legal text that we hope that the judges will be convinced to adjudicate in our favor. At the International Criminal Court, there have not been any successful convictions, meaning the following, meaning that evidence was not presented that led to a conviction for that perpetrator who was tried. And let me distinguish that. There are many different reasons. One is in the first case, Lubanga, sexual violence wasn't pleaded, so there was no evidence of sexual violence. In two subsequent cases, Katanga and Chu, sexual violence was investigated, pleaded by the prosecutor. And as a matter of fact, it's quite interesting because the judges in their finding almost bent over backwards to say, you've entered credible evidence of sexual violence. In this case, it was sexual slavery and rape. The evidence is reliable, it's probative, it's relevant. It doesn't link up to this accused. So therefore, there could be no conviction. It's rather disappointing. In a third case, the Bimba case, there were convictions for sexual violence under command responsibility. On appeal, the entire conviction was overturned. So the sexual violence convictions, including sexual violence committed against males, father in front of his family, was overturned. But there are 2 or 3 more cases coming up through the trial stage right now in Taganda, Ongwen, that have charged and have pleaded sexual violence. And I believe that we will have those convictions that relate particularly to sexual slavery, child soldiers, forced pregnancy. We hope in this coming year that the judgments will be rendered in our favor.